My neighbor stole my package, so I made sure she lost everything. I live in what people like to call a nice neighborhood. Clean sidewalks, friendly waves from strangers, and an HOA that cares way too much about your grass height. On paper, it's a perfect little suburb. But beneath the surface, well, let's just say my neighbor Karen is the human embodiment of a thorn bush in a rose garden. Now for context, I moved into this neighborhood about 3 years ago. I keep to myself. I work from home, I pay my bills, and I don't throw wild parties or blast loud music. Basically, I'm a dream neighbor. But Karen? She decided I was a problem the second I moved in. She complained the very first week that my garbage bins weren't perfectly aligned with the curb. She called the HOA when I planted sunflowers instead of the approved bushes. And she once left a passive-aggressive note in my mailbox because she saw me wearing pajamas outside at noon. Yeah, that kind of neighbor. Anyway, a few months ago I started noticing something strange. A few Amazon packages were marked as delivered but never actually showed up. At first I chalked it up to a fluke. I figured the delivery guy maybe left it at the wrong house. But then it happened again, and again, and again. I contacted Amazon and the carriers, and they were all adamant that the packages were dropped off right at my door, which, by the way, has a bright red welcome mat and 0 obstructions. You can't miss it. The thing that really got me was the pattern. The missing packages weren't just random. They were always left when I wasn't home for a few hours, and always small things. Stuff that could be picked up and carried away without drawing attention. That's when I got suspicious. And unfortunately, all the clues started pointing to Karen. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, but come on, she's always lurking by her window, always knows everyone's business. And let's not forget, she once threatened to report me because my wind chimes were too cheerful. I decided it was time to get proactive. So, I took an old smartphone I had lying around and turned it into a makeshift security camera, mounted it behind the living room window with a clear view of my front porch. It wasn't super high def or anything, but it was enough to catch any activity. I even did a test delivery, just to see what would happen. I ordered something cheap, a knockoff phone case. Cost me about $8. Delivery was scheduled for Monday morning, so that day I made sure to leave for a walk around 10 a.m., right when deliveries usually happen. Sure enough, at exactly 10:22 a.m., I got the notification that my package had been dropped off. I waited, watching the live camera feed from my laptop at the cafe around the corner. It took exactly 1 hour and 36 minutes. At 11:58 a.m., Karen, in her usual floral robe and ratty slippers, strutted out of her house. She didn't even try to be sneaky. Just walked across the lawn, snatched the package, glanced around casually, and walked back like it was just another day. My jaw dropped. She didn't look nervous. She didn't even bother to hide it in her coat or bag. She just straight up stole it like it was her God-given right. That moment was when the switch flipped for me. I went from mildly annoyed neighbor to vengeance mode activated. But I didn't confront her, not yet. See, I knew if I played this right, I could not only expose her, but hit her where it hurt. And if you know anything about Karens, it's that they care a lot about their image. But I needed more evidence, more than one video clip. If I was going to burn this bridge, I wanted it to be a total inferno. So I started baiting her. Over the next 2 weeks, I ordered 3 more cheap packages. Stuff I didn't care about. Sunglasses, a dog leash, I don't even have a dog, and a set of cheap Bluetooth earbuds. Each time, I made sure I was away when the package arrived. Each time she took the bait. Every single one. By the end of 2 weeks, I had 4 separate clips of Karen helping herself to my packages like they were samples at Costco. I edited them together into a clean little compilation with timestamps and close-ups. And let me tell you, it was damning. Now I could have gone to the police, I could have reported her, but like I said, I wanted her to feel it. So I started working on a plan that would not only get my stuff back, but make sure Karen learned that messing with the quiet neighbor next door was the worst mistake she ever made. At this point, I had 4 solid video clips of Karen walking up to my porch and stealing packages like she was just out for a casual morning stroll. I'd labeled and time-stamped everything. The quality wasn't Hollywood level, but it was clear enough to show her face, her slippers, and even the floral robe she apparently thinks is fashion. The question now wasn't if I was going to get revenge, it was how brutal I wanted to be. Now, a normal person might have just gone to the police or the HOA, but I knew that wasn't enough for someone like Karen. She thrived on appearances, on looking like the model neighbor. She hosted book clubs, organized bake sales, and was always bragging about her spotless HOA record. That's where I decided to hit her. I started by gathering intel. Nothing sketchy, just public stuff. I found out she was on the HOA board. Of course she was. She'd bragged about it before. I also learned that she had a minor side hustle baking and selling cookies under her homemade brand, which she operated out of her house. You might be thinking, okay, so what? Here's the thing. Karen's little cookie business wasn't licensed, inspected, or registered. She was technically running a food business illegally, in a neighborhood with very strict HOA and county health rules. So I waited. I planned everything like a mini sting operation. First, I compiled all my video footage and added captions and arrows to make it super easy to follow. Then, I printed out still frames of her stealing the packages, like literal photo evidence. I also made sure to place one more bait package out, this one with a GPS tracker inside and a note that read, "Smile, you're on camera, and stealing again." She took it. Of course she did. With that, I had everything I needed. Step 1, the HOA. I anonymously mailed the footage, the photos, and a full write-up of the thefts to every board member except Karen. I also dropped in a little, by the way, about her unlicensed home bakery, since it violated both HOA policies and county health codes. Step 2, the health department. I submitted an anonymous complaint online with a link to her public Facebook page where she proudly showed off her cookie operation, featuring ungloved hands, questionable sanitation, and zero signs of official certification. Step 3, a little digital fire. I created a brand new email, uploaded the video compilation to an unlisted YouTube link, and sent it to our neighborhood group chat, the one Karen always dominated with quotes about community and unity. No caption, just the link. The fallout was glorious. Within 24 hours, the group chat exploded. People were stunned. Some defended her at first, but the video made it impossible. One person even said, "Isn't that her I'm just checking the mail robe?" Another responded, "She stole from me last month. I thought I was losing my mind." By the end of the week, Karen was suspended from the HOA board pending review. The county health department shut down her cookie business. She received a fine for violating community policies, and her perfect neighbor reputation, gone. Now, did she come over and apologize? Nope. Instead, she slipped a handwritten note under my door. "I know what you did. I hope you're happy destroying someone's life over a few boxes." I didn't respond, because honestly, I was happy. After the fallout, things were quiet. Karen didn't say a word to me in person, no eye contact, no fake smiles. Just that note blaming me for ruining her life. But Karen wasn't done. About 2 weeks later, I started noticing weird things. My trash bin disappeared on collection day. An anonymous HOA complaint came in about my lawn. Someone rang my doorbell at 2 a.m. 3 nights in a row and ran. Then I came home one night to find a giant red X spray painted on my garage door. No proof it was her, but I knew. So I took the gloves off. I recompiled the footage, I printed stills, and I made flyers. Warning porch pirate in this neighborhood. Caught on camera 4 times. This is Karen, blurred last name, of house number. Protect your deliveries. I blurred personal info enough to stay legal. But her face? Crystal clear. Then I walked the block and handed them out. People talked. Karen was done. But the best part, her husband showed up at my door. He looked tired and defeated, but apologetic. He told me he had no idea what she'd been doing. Said she was staying with her sister now, that the backlash had been too much. And honestly, he looked relieved. So yeah, my neighbor stole my packages, and I made sure she lost everything. But in the end, she gave it all up herself, one petty act at a time.